Hey guys, welcome to our read aloud of The Wishing Chair, and today we are at the pool. See how that works? And we're on chapter number 5, and we're going to read Poor Lost Chingy. We'll see how this goes. Okay. Once a dreadful thing happened when the children were adventuring on the wishing chair. It had grown its wings most conveniently when all three were in the playroom, so they jumped on and were soon flying high in the air. As they were flying, they heard a loud, droning noise and looked round. "It's an airplane," shouted Peter. "I say, it's very near us," cried Molly, and so it was. It didn't seem to see them at all. It flew straight at them, and the edge of the widespread wing just touched their flying chair, giving it a tremendous shake. Molly and Peter were sitting tightly in the seat, but Chingy was on the back, and he jolted right off the chair. Molly clutched at him as he fell, but she only just touched him. The two children watched in great dismay as he fell down and down and down. "Oh, Peter," cried Molly in despair. Poor Chingy. Whatever will happen to him?" The airplane flew on steadily, never guessing that it had touched a wishing chair. Peter turned pale and looked at Molly. "We must make the chair go down and see if Chingy is hurt," he said. "Oh dear, what a dreadful thing to happen. Chair, fly down to earth." The chair flapped its red wings and flew slowly down to the ground. It stood there, and the children jumped off. They were in open country with wide fields all around them. There was no sign of Chingy at all. They heard the sound of someone chanting a song and saw coming towards them a round little man carrying a bundle on his head. "Hi," called Peter. "Have you seen a pixie falling out of the sky?" "Is that a riddle?" said the round little man, grinning. "I can ask you one too. Have you seen a horse that quacks like a duck?" "Don't be silly," said Molly. "This is serious. Our friend has fallen out of the sky." "Well, tell him not to do that again," said the little round man. "All that fell out of the sky today was a large snowflake. Good morning." He went on his way, his bundle bobbing on his head, and the children were very angry. "Making a joke about a serious thing like poor Chingy falling out of the sky," said Molly with tears in her eyes. "He's a horrible fellow." "Here's someone else," said Peter. "Hi, stop a minute." The someone was another round person, also carrying a bundle on her head and singing a little song. She stopped when she saw the children. "Have you seen a pixie falling out of the sky?" asked Peter. "No, have you?" said the little woman, grinning. "Of course," said Molly impatiently. "Fibber," said the round woman, and a big snowflake fell out of the sky, but nothing else. "They've got snowflakes on the brain," said Peter as the woman went on her way singing. "Come on, Molly, we'd better go and look for Chingy ourselves. We know that it was somewhere near here that he fell. We'll carry the chair between us so that we may have it safely. I don't trust these silly people." They carried the chair along and came out to the marketplace. It was full of the same round people, all humming and singing. A town crier was going round the market, ringing a bell and crying, "Oyee, oyee, Dame Apple Pie has lost her spectacles, oyee, oyee." Then Peter had a splendid idea. "I say, Molly, let's talk about the town crier to shout out about Chingy. We'll offer a reward to anyone that can tell us about him. Someone must have seen him fall." So before long, the town crier was ringing his bell and crying loudly, "Oyee, oyee, a reward is offered to anyone having news of a pixie who fell from the sky, oyee." Molly and Peter stood on a platform so that people might know to whom to go if they had news. To their delight, there came a quick crowd of people around them. We've got news, we've got news, they cried, struggling to get to Peter first. There's your picture. Well, where did you see the pixie fall? Asked Peter of the first little man. Sir, I saw a big snowflake fall in a buttercup field, he said. Don't be foolish, said Peter. I said a pixie, not a snowflake. Don't you know the difference between a pixie and a snowflake? We all know that snowflakes fall from the sky. That is not news. Next, please. But the person said the same thing. The next person said the same thing, and the next, and the next. It was the very most annoying and disappointing. We want our reward, suddenly shouted one. We have given you news, but you haven't given us a reward. You haven't given us the right news, said Peter angrily. That doesn't matter, shouted the little folk, looking angry. They looked rather funny, too, because for some reason or another, they all carried their bundles and baskets balanced on their heads. Give us our reward! They swarmed towards the platform on which the two children were standing, and Molly and Peter suddenly felt frightened. I don't like this, Molly, said Peter. Let's go. These silly creatures think that pixies and snowflakes are exactly the same, and we certainly can't give them all a reward. Climb into the chair. Molly jumped into the chair, which was near them on the platform. Peter sat on the arm and cried out loudly, Home, chair, quickly! The chair flapped its wings and rose up, but it didn't rise very high, only just above the heads of the angry people. Its legs began to jerk in and out, and to Peter's enormous astonishment, the chair kicked off bundles and pots and baskets from the heads of the furious marketers. Keep going. Keep going. She's checking out the picture. Peter began to laugh for really it was most comical to see the chair playing such a trick, but Molly was in tears. What's the matter? Asked Peter, drying her tears with his handkerchief. It's Chingy, sobbed Molly. I did love him so. Now I feel we'll never see him again. Peter's eyes filled with tears. He was such a good friend. He said, Oh, Molly, it would be so dreadful if we never saw him again. The chair flew home in silence. The chair flew in the playroom door, and the children jumped off. It will never be so nice going on adventures again, said Molly. Why ever not, said a merry little voice, and the children turned around in joy, for there was Chingy, the pixie, sitting on the floor reading a book. Chingy, we thought you were lost forever when you fell from the chair, cried Molly, hugging him hard. Don't break me in half, said Chingy. I wasn't hurt at all. I just changed myself into a big... Do you know? Have you gotten it? Snowflake. He turned himself into a big snowflake and fell into the buttercup field. Then I caught the next bus back to the bottom of the garden, and here I am. I've been waiting simply ages for you. A snowflake? Cried Peter. So that's why everybody was talking about snowflakes. Now I understand. He told Chingy all about their adventures and how the pixie laughed when he heard about the chair kicking bundles off the heads of the angry people. I wish I'd been there, he said. Come on now. What about a game of Ludo? Okay, and that is the end of
that chapter.
Very good. That was a fun chapter. It was quick. Chingy turned himself into a snowflake, and yeah, and they figured it out. And the chair is becoming a character, right? Because he's doing stuff to help them. It's pretty cool.
Do you want to do another chapter?
Not today. But for your writing journal, I did skip a picture too, by the way. Here's the other picture. This is the picture of, I just dropped a bunch of pages. That's the picture of the chair kicking the bundles off people's heads. Yep. Okay, so I would like you to draw me the wishing chair. And try to add some details. We know that the wings are the color red. And let's see your best shot at drawing a wishing chair, and then we'll compare on Monday. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you're being kind and patient with your families, finding time to be creative and fun, and getting outside for some walks. I just got water on my phone. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys soon.